On your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. About others way before myself, yeah. I guess that's why I feel like I go through hell, damn. Wasting time on your dreams instead of mine, yeah. About to turn this franchise around on a dime, man. It's all about finding your right state of mind. It's all about turning the worst into fine. It's all about time and the work and the climb. From the thirst we will rise, I'm immersed in this life. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first.
love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop, just let me know. Don't stop. I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad. Cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared, just let me know. Don't be scared.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pittsburgh State Esports. Today we have an Overwatch match against GUAM University, and it looks like the first map is going to be on Beijing Towers. I'm Easton, and I'm here with Daryl McLeod, and yeah, we'll be on Lijiang Tower for the first map, starting shortly. So you were here for the last match they had. What do you think about what they did the last match?
Well, I gotta tell you, Easton, it was kind of a rough match for them. They ended up not capturing any points throughout the entire match. They lost 3-0 because it's first to 5 in these Overwatch matches that they have through this esports program, which also is very great that they have at Pitt State now. But I gotta tell you, what they could do better is just honestly functioning as a team. Sometimes it looked like they didn't really. It looked like they didn't have that chemistry that you normally see from a college esports team. So today we could see them go out, maybe build some better comps. That's what Dex and I had mentioned in that last broadcast, is that some of their team comps were a little bit questionable, and the other team really benefited from that. But also in those other matches, the other team had a tank that was Plat 5, which highly outranks our top player. And so that was obviously a huge advantage for them. So in this matchup, we'd like to see them just build a good team comp, try and run a good chemistry, and get to the point quickly, and hopefully hold a point, and maybe at least capture some points today.
So, I think you said, they need a good team comp to really mesh together and work well. Probably not a Moira, and if there is a Moira, maybe a Lucio with them for that area heals and that kind of sustained healing, stuff like that. But I think overall, Pitt State just needs to work well together as a team, and I think communication would be a big part of that. So I think communicating when they spawn back in, kind of regrouping, making sure they're settled back to make these certain pushes and stuff, and just be aware of their teammates is kind of what Pitt State needs to succeed as a team.
Oh, definitely. And with that just comes playing the character that you're best at in the end. Sometimes the comp isn't always going to be great, but whenever you're at not the highest level of Overwatch in terms of where you're ranked, whenever you're playing kind of with people who might be unexperienced, people who aren't used to working with a full team, it's important to just play that character that you're good at. And then, like you said, use communication in order to take points, use communication in order to function as a team, and bring those characters who might not normally work well together, bring them together so that they can work well together.
Yeah, definitely. Pitt State, again, we see a lot of comfort picks from them, and they should just stick with that. They should really just stick with who they feel they are most comfortable playing with. I see Whiskery a lot on May, and the healers, Moira and Brigitte sometimes. And the tank, he's very good at just quick swapping tanks. So if he can, just manage to counterpick their tank, I think they have a good chance of succeeding.
Yeah, and hopefully the tank that we play today isn't as dominant as it was in that last Overwatch match, just because, man, I tell you, every single time they would try and capture a point or they would get a push going, that opposite tank would just shut it down, and it would pretty much ruin anything that they had.
Yeah, for sure. And here we'll start shortly. GUAM, we got GUAM's roster here with Axo, Kip Dip. How do you even say that one?
I'm going to go with Zeisball.
Zeisball, yeah, that's a good one. Barry QT and Eradication. And then Pittsburgh, we got Beast, Skylar Rose, L. Kratz, Whiskery, and Cool NM.
A good, strong starting 5 there for the Gorillas, but it's going to be important that in that other starting 5 that they match well against them.
Yeah.
Overwatch is so much about response to any action, to any activity. It's all cause and effect in Overwatch. So if that first push doesn't work with your characters that you thought it would, then it's going to be good to make sure to go back, change your characters, assess, and respond to any action that happens.
Yeah, for sure. Here where we start up the first match, got player cams to the right of the screen. Take a look at those, see their reactions while we're playing here. But it'll be on the King of the Hill part of the map, this kind of one where there's chances to boot people off, but it's a very, this one is a lot more fortified than the other ones on Lijiang. So we'll just see hear from their
Much lies in
Beast
store.
is actually on tank here.
Let us see to
So
it.
we've got him playing on Junker Queen, and it looks like there's a Moira and a Sim. Sim is a very good pick on this part of Zhejiang Towers, as it really does provide quick entry and kind of a shutdown and a hold off when it comes to the point on this map. They also have a Lucio Moira. Like I talked about, a Lucio Moira is a good combo. The speed boost and then the Moira with the, like, just pushing those heals out more and more. And then, like I said, Whiskery on the Mei. Just these comfortable characters that they're comfortable with. So Pit State can, you know, work well with each other. And GUAM, on the other hand, with a Ramatra, a Widow, a Pharah. It looks like they're going to do a Pharmacy comp along with a Lucio. Kind of support that Ramatra, and Widow just going straight off the bat, taking out Chip Dip, taking out Skylar as well. Holy cow, Chip Dip's crazy. And then Pharah takes out Elkratz. I mean, it's just annihilation right now already. Beast also going down. Chip Dip, crazy.
Be absolutely huge here for Beast and the rest of Pittsburgh State to regroup back at their spawn point, make sure that no other death happens, no other ult charges gained by GUAM.
Yeah, they lost that first fight, and they really do have to switch to a hit scan for this Mercy Pharah combo. As if you can't kill them, if you can't kill that Mercy, they're just gonna get those reses off, and if you can't kill that Pharah, they're just gonna keep putting in that damage. So it's gonna be really hard, and especially with this Widow always contesting them with the long range shots, it's gonna be really hard to get through. So they really do have to play around chokes mostly here, and kind of just small areas to where the Widow can't contest them, only the Pharah can, and only the Pharah really in close spaces. See, Beast is pushing up on the point, kind of just trying to take care of this tank as fast as they can, and they almost do. Pharah just from the back gets 3, but gets taken out. The Mercy gets taken out. No. Only the dang, 4, 5, all 5 Pit State just wiped so fast there, followed by the res of the tank. I mean, we got the tank down, and there was great work from Beast there, but they just didn't expect that Pharah flank, I guess.
It looks like we're going to get a change from the Gorillas. Going to go to that hit scan that you asked for. It looks like we're going to get McCree from
And
Cool.
switch up to D.Va as well. That'll benefit them from stopping that Pharah with a lot of the damage. And also diving that Widow and shutting her down.
That D.Va's pushing into Lucio, trying to take some back cap. But Ramatra is going to contest her now.
It's great that they're taking the space, but without a team behind them, it's just not going to work out for them as they get booped off the map there. And it's just Beast left again. The healers did follow, but the DPS were trapped again by the other DPS on their team. The Pharah and the Mercy just holding them back. And they just couldn't push point, and, you know, they just get taken out eventually. Widow, Chip Dip, getting that last kill on Beast.
University of GUAM is going to take our first matchup here in the first round of Zhejiang Tower. It looks like you're going to get that circle point. I always call it the circle point because I don't know what else to call it. But that one where there's just a little pillar in the middle with a circle around. Kind of going to shut down their Widow play, as there's not enough length to really play Widow in this map. But we'll have to see what they end up choosing with that.
So a short little break here as Pitt State is maybe figuring out there's some technical issues on their side or something. But yeah, that short map you were talking about, that can be really beneficial for Pitt State, as it does shut down the Widow, and it also shuts down the Pharah for the most part, from kind of just playing long distance and getting those rockets in, and just that chip damage that's just causing Pitt State to fall, especially with the closed in area there. There's not a lot of space for that Pharah to fly, so it could be very beneficial for Pitt State. Other than that, what do you think of that first round for Pitt State?
I thought it was a good performance. Obviously, they didn't get any percentage cap on that cap point, but that's kind of due to the crazy play from Eradication, who was on the Lucio in that last match, getting a double boop in that last push, and then also a boop in that second push that they had right there in the middle of the matchup. I mean, without those 2 big kills, D.Va's currently back capping, and they'll have healers there to support. So if they get through without those 2 boops, I think it could be a different matchup.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. That Kiriko probably used teleport a little too early there and caused him to be able to fall off the map, and the Moira also faded out to get out there, and, you know, they just both got booped off because of that. Little bit of a, not really a misplay, just better judgment by the enemy team right there.
Definitely so, but I look for the Gorillas to improve because you already kind of touched on it. This next map really does favor their play style, especially if they'd like to go with that same comp that they did in that first matchup where you bring in a Junker Queen, a Mei, and it kind of encapsulates that close matchup type of play.
Yeah, for sure. Back here on that point, we'll see what they are picking for this map. Hopefully Pitt State kind of stays the same. I'm expecting GUAM to kind of change it up because, you know, like we said, they're kind of shut down DPS wise with the Widow and Pharah picks. So let's see what they pick here as it starts here, assembling the team. Yeah, and it looks like Pitt State will, for the most part, stay the same comp. And so does GUAM, to my surprise. But, you know, like we were talking about, they're probably just very comfortable with it, so might as well stick with it. And it looks like Cool is switching to tank, and Beast is playing DPS now. Cool playing Mauga, and Beast playing Sojourn. So a different tank switch up. And Whiskery is on the sim this time instead. Let's see how it plays out for Pitt State here.
I'm also interested to see how this pharmacy works out for University of Guam.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, Pitt State. Don't know what happened there. I think a teleport was a little off to the side and the Mauga falls off the map, unfortunately. But as you can see, this sim is creating great value for Pitt State, already doing a lot of damage. But this Ramattra flank, and they've got the healer behind them too. You know, it's just getting shut down in chip dip off the angle again. Just getting shut down, especially when Mauga's not there to, you know, help fight that tank. But it looks like Mauga, oh, so close. He does take out the Zen. But GUAM does capture the point. Pitt State in a player advantage, not anymore, but they still are again. Whiskery taking out Chip Dip with that turret, but Skylar Rose falling in return. Axo, so close to going down, but not quite. Mauga trying to go in for the kill. And they do manage to block him off. They should be able to get this kill, and they do. Pitt State taking the advantage now on this fight. Chip Dip getting taken down. Shut down this Mauga. Cool is just shutting them down left and right. We talk about current meta picks in Overwatch, and Mauga is definitely a huge one for almost all the ranks, just because of how much healing and self-sustaining he has, and how much he can just benefit by playing on it by himself, and benefit by playing with the team. And with this Sim Beam, I mean, it's practically unstoppable. You're just bound to get melted. There's nothing they can do.
Not surprised to see a switch from Chip Dip here onto Ash. Widowmaker, you got to really be set up on this point and have already been capturing percentage in order to play Widowmaker.
Yeah, it's like it's a one and done kind of deal for Widowmaker on this map. I think you capture that first point, you get the value, you know, with kind of holding that, and when it gets capped back, you kind of just have to switch. But Pitt State managing to keep them shut down, locked out from pushing. Macho throws out their ult, but it's not going to do anything as Mauga and Sim both pop their ults. Chip Dip going down, then having to force. Mercy also forcing. 2 healer ults are gone. Ramatra also has his ult gone. Skylar Rose does get taken out. We've got Beast on the flank, and he's taking him out. Zen's about to die too. Great picks from behind, and a lot of pressure from behind. It's this pharmacy still that's contesting them. But now we have Beast back on the point, able to shoot them down. They get taken down by a combination of Moira and Mauga and Soldier there. It's great teamwork all around there. He's electing the ult here so they can not push that cap, you know. And Pitt State with a great shutdown right off that first cap they get. I think the tank swap there really did help them out. What do you think?
I think it definitely did. I also think that it obviously just kind of played into the favor of Pitt State's comp. I mean, they decided to go with Soldier in the end. Like you said, Beast and Cool would switch. I mean, it really just, I think it probably should have been what they were doing from the start, to tell you the truth.
I agree 100%, but It also was because of the map, like we were talking about. It really did shut down the Pharah there. Pharah not having a lot of access to shoot, and the Widow as well. They really just couldn't do anything. And you can see they switched back to Widow on this map. Going back to actually the same map we recently played on the first map. We'll see how it plays out for them. This is just a scrim. It's not an official match.
Always good to get that practice in, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's a good practice match for both teams, like you were saying. You know, Pitt State already on this point, getting it locked down. Metro doing fat damage there. And Mauga kind of shutting down Chip Dip, taking them out though. And then, you know, the Chip Dip shutdowns are crucial right now. That Sim was holding down their tank, but Mauga managed to take one back, taking out the Ramatra in return. And managing to hold on to the point.
Mauga definitely needs to be careful playing on that outside against the Pharmacy. Not a lot of damage potential for him, especially at that length for Pharmacy. And like you can see there, Farah's already built up her barrage because of it.
Yeah, we don't really want to necessarily feed that barrage, as they might barrage here shortly. I guess they elected that it was too risky at that point. Kind of a 1v4. And they actually just do it and get taken out by Beast. I think I spoke a little too soon on that part. I didn't expect them to ult there because, you know, the Mercy had moved out and it was just them alone, but they did it ult and they paid the price for it.
Definitely a questionable call there by Zeisval.
Zeisval.
We had talked about it before, how crucial length is on a map, and Chip Dip is taking advantage, taking down already 2 of the Gorillas on this offensive.
Now, I think Mauga ults there kind of just to delay the time of the cap, honestly, to maybe bring it to like a 94, 95%. But other than that, that ult was not really beneficial for them. I think he could have just held on to that ult instead, because again, it was just him and the Lucio left right there. Like you said, getting taken out by Chip Dip and Dival.
Interesting play for the Widow to kind of stay seated on the ground, I guess. I would be taking that high ground behind.
Definitely, and it looks like this Mauga is just doing so much damage, and even with that Discord, you know, just playing Kiriko to cleanse that Discord saves Mauga so much HP, and it kind of just, you know, shuts down the Zen in general, because you pick Zen there just to kind of deal with the tank, you know, in that scenario, and because of that cleanse, you know, there's a 15-second cooldown after the Discord orb comes off, so you can't really put it back onto him. You have to put it on a different player, and Pitt State taking another one there.
Axo playing very well as Ramatra so far. We talked about how crucial it's going to be with tank play. It looks like they had pretty good tank play there.
Yeah, especially for that play to kind of secure that point. Again, we saw Chip Dip and Zyval really popping off there, but Pitt State managing to just hold it down right off that, you know, the first cap, the Sim turrets, the Mauga burn, just all that like area damage and that build-up damage really added up for Pitt State, and they did gain that win because of it. And with that being said, we'll take it to a short break here.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on about others way before myself, yeah. I guess that's why I feel like I go through hell, damn. Wasting time on your dreams instead of mine, yeah. About to turn this franchise around on a dime, man. It's all about finding your right state of mind. It's all about turning the worst into fine. It's all about time and the work and the climb. From the thirst we will rise, I'm immersed in this life. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your
Welcome back, everybody, here to Pitt State Esports. Gorillas take the first point in this scrim against the University of Guam. They are playing all 5 maps today, so we're going to get to see a nice little exhibition. It's not just first to 3. We're going to get to practice all the way through. But, Easton, we got a good example, I guess, of what is to come in that first matchup. What do you see here for our next map when we play at Kings Row?
Well, I was kind of expecting another Widow for Guam for at least this first point, but it looks like they elect to play a Tracer instead, which is honestly pretty good for holding like those tight corners and kind of just putting a lot of pressure in general and poke into Pittsburgh's lineup, especially with that Mauga. You can just put a lot of bullets into him and kind of farm ult point from that. So, and a Baptiste, that's a good pick for Guam as well. And they are on defense, so Baptiste being the character, one of the characters with an immortal ability that kind of prevents people from getting killed is really big on defense. We'll see how Pitt State does.
And also something to note is Chip Dip looks to be sitting on the bench for this matchup, and it's going to be Doorlock to take his place. Aga already taking that height advantage. So often we see at Kings Row take that height via this map. It's also a great place for Soldier to kind of run the territory, as Tracer is going to be taken out quickly there by Whiskery. So they're moving around, trying to take that high ground, and now it looks like they're going to push on to the point. It's contested 1-2, but Ramatra's going to have to break out. No point in contesting that fight anymore. Pitt State's going to have it, and they'll capture that first point and get on to pushing the payload.
Yeah, and speaking of like damage, Mauga's damage on that Ramatra, even when he's blocking, is just crazy because you light them on fire and you just get those critical points, you know, over and over. And Pitt State just taking this no matter what. At that point, they just can't regroup fast enough.
And it's going to be interesting to see, as normally Tracer is able to build up her ult on that first point, but only about 70% through, and was only at 54% at the end of that capture. Pitt State going to have... It looks like they're not going to play the normal strategy where people push ahead. I think University of Guam got back too quickly. Tracer flanking around, trying to do some damage on the backside. Mauga going to have to retreat. Soldier will fall back with him. Soldier end up getting Lucio on the turnaround shot, so they're leading 4-1 in this matchup. They have a nice little advantage between the two. Looks like Doorlock's going to take the height. And they're just trying to stand here in this archway. Ramatra pushing up on Symmetra. Symmetra with a good timed heal is going to get out of there alive, but they're going to get Kiriko in Ramatra's ult. Ramatra doing a lot of damage with his ult, but Mauga going to come in and absolutely stop it, and that's going to open the floodgates. And here comes the Gorillas. Beast taking care of business. Mauga going to clean it up, and Pitt State now going to have some free reign with the payload.
Yeah, crazy play there. I really do think they need to switch off Ramatra and maybe play a Sigma just for this Mauga alone, you know, kind of just to... Or an Orisa, in fact, counters Mauga now because of the Fortified, so maybe a Zarya, Orisa, or possibly a Sigma, kind of just to deal with this Mauga a little bit more, because this burn damage is just doing so much to him.
And that's right, but you gotta wonder, is he comfortable with those characters or not? Is he going to be able to come out and play a good enough tank to contest this Mauga, who is kind of running the show right now? Looks like they're going to pop a sim wall. Whiskery going to get that off in time. They're able to take out the Tracer with that. Ramatra going to pop his shield up and try and contest some space. Kiriko working on the Soldier up top. And it looks like it's not going to be enough, though, as they're going to capture this halfway point. As the real fight begins, they're going to have to try and take this final point. Always so tough on Kings Row. Everything's kind of easy, so to speak. We say easy kind of euphemismly. Well, that's not a right word. But they still have a lot to go, no matter how close they are. Looks like Dorlock gonna take down Beast, and it might be advantageous for Pitt State to just retreat in this scenario. Maga gonna get taken down as well. And it looks like that is what's gonna happen. The fighting will stop besides Sim up top. They need to be careful of not dying and creating a lot of space between them and their tank. Beast is back into the action. And Kiriko will teleport back to get behind them. Maga now returning to the fight as well. Lucio's gonna have his ult for Pitt State as well as Kiriko. 2 healer ults in play here as they try to make a push. However, Soldier once again gonna lose the battle. Ramatra does get a kill on the Lucio as well, and this might be another lost battle for the Gorillas. Maga still doing damage, but that Moira ult's so powerful behind him. It's gonna be 4 ults for Pitt State. Kiriko does pop her ult in the last fight. Excuse me, 3 ults. As they're making this final push, Soldier gonna have his visor, and it looks like he's gonna pop it. They also drop the beat, and with a sim wall, going all in on this battle right here, trying to win it right here, right now. Beast trying to get one back on Soldier after losing the last 2 battles against him. Maga doing damage as well. They got a sim portal set up on the cart. Halo taking them all the way. Soldier knocking out both Sojourn and Soldier. This could be all for naught. Pitt State weighing down on GUAM. They got a Maga versus Maga battle to contest the point, but Maga's gonna get taken down by Beast as well. Couple ults being popped here at the end, but it looks like Pitt State's gonna be able to clean it up as they are just mowing down the University of GUAM Tritons. Just trying to waste some time. GUAM is getting out as quickly as they can, but that's gonna be all for this first round. Gorillas take it all the way down to the point capture, and they'll be leading 3-0 as University of GUAM is gonna take over on the attacking side. Well, Easton, give us your thoughts on that matchup, huh?
I mean, Pitt State really just going in and playing super aggressive and working like behind their Maga. They're waiting for that Maga to create that space and just taking that space immediately when he does. It's really beneficial for Pitt State, and we see a lot of great plays from all of our players. Beast being one of them. We saw him just mowing down people as Soldier and kind of securing that last point for them. On GUAM's side, you know, they held down that last point as good as they could for having no ults at the beginning of that fight, and kind of just having to go against 3 ults there. They held it down for an extra 30 seconds or so, and I thought that was pretty big for GUAM. So I think GUAM here, if they could get a little bit faster, you probably can get to the 3-minute mark if you cap this first point on that first push, and etc. So, you know, it could go either way here.
Yeah, definitely going to be crucial to move quickly, as should there be a sudden death scenario, Pitt State is going to have 2 minutes and 14 seconds to get as far as they can, should we come to that. But until then, it looks like Pitt State's going to take the high ground. GUAM's going to be running a Diva comp with Tracer and Sojourn to back them. Also a Moira and Lucio, we see that very commonly. Pitt State running normal with Kiriko, Soldier, Moira, and it looks like Whiskery's going to play the Mei, so getting off the Symmetra for defense, and instead electing to play as Mei, trying to get as much damage as she can with those icicles. Looks like GUAM, no surprise there, going to try and take the high ground. Moira doing some good healing on the Diva as she pushes in on Maga. Maga going to charge through. Might have gotten himself into a little bit of trouble, pushed ahead a little too far. Mei going to take out the mech, excuse me, Kiriko and Mei going to take out the mech. Mei gets Moira, Lucio gets Mei, so now it's an even battle. Maga pushing the pace on the healers, and it looks like Diva, right before she can get the mech back, is going to be eliminated by Maga. Tracer picks off Beast in the back. That's going to be crucial for Pitt State to get him back as quick as possible. A lot of damage being done here by University of GUAM. Dorlock going to take out Kiriko. That's down another healer, and it looks like GUAM is starting to push the pace here on this opening point. Maga charges in and tries to hold out as long as he can, but he'll be taken down by the Tracer as well. Diva trying to clean up the Mei. She will, and it looks like GUAM's going to all but have it.
Yeah, like I said, that first fight is crucial for them, and they managed to take it. Beast trying to delay the inevitable there. But yeah, taking that is a big advantage for them. As you can see, they got 4 minutes left, and if they can cap it before, you know, the 3-minute mark hit, they have a good chance of beating them in time.
Personally, whenever I'm playing in these sudden death scenarios, which obviously GUAM is going to have to get there first in order to force a sudden death, but whenever I'm playing in those scenarios, I always prefer to have more time than my opponent, naturally, obviously, but that always means that my opponent goes first. I always enjoy that more because you know exactly where you have to cap to, and there's no mystery about it whatsoever. So we'll have to see how the Tritons push the pace, but it looks like the Gorilla is going to take this opening battle under the archway. However, that respawn point is so close that it's hard to keep the Tritons from overwhelming you. Looks like Mei is going to do some back damage, and Moira are going to clean up the Sojourn. And now D.Va pushing out. GUAM needs to be careful because they're down a DPS right now. However, she just respawned. But got to be careful to make sure that your whole team is pushing under this archway, because if you don't have your whole team pushing, it's probably pretty likely that you're not going to succeed, especially when Pitt State's holding as much ground as they are, especially as Beast pops a visor. D.Va going to swallow up a lot of that damage, but Maga going to push her back. They are pushed all the way to the spawn doors, holding the Tritons back as far as they can. With this kind of distance that they're controlling, it's going to be hard for the Tritons to make up any sort of time. Moira are going to have to pop a roll just to heal all the critical bodies around. Axo going to eliminate Kiriko, and maybe that's a chance for the Tritons to take some ground. Maga still holding the point well as D.Va rolling around on Soldier. Maga doing heavy damage through that corridor. And now D.Va with a D.Va bomb. She's going to charge into the back line. Gets the Moira for the Pitt State Gorillas. And now they're going to be down a healer in this battle. However, they do have 2 ults to use as that D.Va bomb is going to go off. And Mei looks like she's going to clean up the baby D.Va. Maga going to clean up the Moira. And it's another battle win for the Gorillas. And they hold the advantage as the Tritons' time is ticking down so fast. D.Va trying to work that corner. Might be time for a D.Va switch. Obviously, you never want to just go off of what you're comfortable with, but in this tight space here, I don't know if D.Va's really the right play. However, you prove me wrong as you do. She's going to take out Beast there with the rocket boost of all things. And it looks like the Pitt State is reeling because Moira are going to go down as well. They're down a healer, and DPS just now going to be getting back. Tritons have a chance to actually take some space as the remech is going to kill the Mei. Kiriko going to go down to a Tracer. Maga goes down to D.Va, and now GUAM finally able to push the payload just a little bit further. Beast going to get taken down way ahead of play. And that's going to be critical that Beast get back into this next battle. Looks like the Gorillas are going to try and regroup before that happens.
Coalescence is charging.
So now we have the ultimate battle. You have one man pushing the payload while the rest try and take some space up and let that payload just come to them. But the Gorillas not going to let that happen whatsoever. They immediately push into that D.Va. Maga going reckless all the way down to where the payload is at. He's taking 3-on-1 with just a healer behind him. He now has his ult as well. D.Va bomb still in play too. Moira ult also available. Looks like Mei ult's gonna get popped. They're gonna try and contest right here. Sojourn flanking out behind, trying to do some damage. Maga holding down that section of the map, does pop his ult. However, the D.Va bomb gonna get 2, assisted by the Moira ult, and that's gonna be a team wipe for the Tritons as they tick down just under 17 seconds to go. They need to cap and they need to hold that space as well as they can because they aren't gonna have much time to get this final point. Looks like the Gorillas not going to allow for much space, though, as they try to push in to stop that capture. Maga going to go straight to the wall, trying to stop the capture. He's going to contest it for just a little bit longer. They're now down into overtime. As they contest this final point, it's going to be a free-for-all battle. Dorlock gets Beast. Zeisval going to eliminate Moira. Got to make sure you don't get off the point here, but it looks like it's going to be in favor of the Tritons. Gorilla's just going to lose too many people too quick as the Blizzard gets popped, so maybe a waste of an ult there, but Maga still holding that space. Maga's such a meta pick right now, but Moira is going to clean it up, and that's going to be a point capture this halfway mark with less time than the Gorillas have in sudden death.
Pitt State really tried their best there. I think Sojourn was really doing a lot of damage in their backline. I think they were behind, and then the Tracer as well, doing a lot of just chip damage, kind of distracting them, and to let that Soldier take out. And you see Sojourn gets taken down immediately. But I think that really did help GUAM out a lot there.
That's right. GUAM's going to be careful here because just one loss of a battle could mean the loss of the match. Looks like Maga going to pop an ult, has it active right now. GUAM going to hold back as Tracer gets eliminated, but the Moira ult's going to take down Maga. So with Moira ult in play, Diva Bomb gets played. Isn't going to clean anybody up. Gorillas stand with two ults, Soldier ult and a Kiriko ult, ready to go. Diva going to push in on the Soldier and try and back out just as quickly. Maga rushes into the fight. Looks like Tracer's going to try and go behind, clean up, tries to land a pulse bomb, not going to land on anyone, doesn't get stuck, but does get the Kiriko. However, at the same time, Soldier going to get a 4-kill visor and then a boop just for the icing on the cake. And as time ticks down, Diva going to have to try and rush in just to cap, but it is going to be just stragglers going in now, as this battle is going to be over, and it looks like the Gorillas are going to take King's Row as well as Lijiang Tower. Have to see who gets play of the game in this scenario. I imagine it's going to be Beast, and it will be. It's going to be that 4-kill visor, pretty much the dagger, if you will, as it'll end the matchup. Here you can see that play just cleans them up, and then this final Tracer gonna get the boop from Lucio. Beast cleans it up, and that is gonna end our second round. Easton, what'd you see?
Oh my gosh, it was just constant, aggression and pressure from the Mauga. Again, like I said, taking that space and really pressuring that cart. He was doing it by themselves a lot of the times, and GUAM just couldn't really get around it, especially with the constant flanking and kind of pressure from the Soldier as well. Just so much damage coming out from Pitt State, and they just did a really good job.
That's right. They're going to clean up King's Row, and while they get ready for the next map, we're going to take a very quick break.
Gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Pitt State Esports. Pitt State leading 2-0 in this 5-map exhibition between University of Guam and obviously your Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Well, Easton, up 2-0, finally getting a win on Kings Row. It seems like Kings Row has been invincible to the Gorillas up until this point. How does it feel to finally get a win in that map?
Yeah, baby, Pitt State, woo! I mean, it's so hard. Finally, after all this time, I finally get to see Pitt State win on Kings Row. They did win one other time, I believe, when I was the main commentator of that game, when I was commentating alone, and I was so hyped for that too, because you know, Kings Row is just such a hard map to play on for Pitt State, and it was just great to see them succeed.
Yeah, I mean, normally they don't like playing those long-range characters that typically dominate at Kings Row, but it seemed to work for them there as they get a second map cleanup against the University of Guam. Here they're going to come out with a pretty average comp. Got Maga running the tank position. At your DPS spot, you're going to have Symmetra and Beast at Soldier, and then you have Lucio and Moira cleaning up the healers. For University of Guam, we actually have a Reaper in play, which is something I haven't seen in competitive Overwatch in a really long time. Moira and Lucio gonna obviously be our healers, as that is very normal. And then Sojourn gonna wrap up that other DPS spot. And then of course, Axo so comfortable with the Ramatra, gonna be playing them to start us off. And it looks like they're gonna clean up this first flashpoint, as Beast will be the last to survive, and the Gorilla is gonna have to respond here quickly.
I think the Reaper switch up is a good idea to kind of counter that Mauga, and we see they swap off to the Ramatra, and that kind of shuts down Pitt State a little bit there, because that Mauga was really kind of doing a lot of damage to Guam.
Yeah, Reaper almost an immediate counter to Mauga, and obviously it's going to force Pitt State to switch very quickly to Ramatra. And now we'll have to see how Cool responds, because this is not comfort territory. And you can see it shows here as Zeisval going to immediately take him down. Moira going to get the cleanup on Symmetra. And it looks like the Gorillas are reeling on this first flashpoint. East rolling around, trying to do some damage on Ramatra. As his team tries to regroup, he'll end up escorting himself back to Mauga, as Cool does switch back to Mauga for this next battle attempt. He's gonna rush in to try and capture that point, but the flash point gonna go in favor of the Tritons before Mauga can get there. And now they're gonna have to wait for that next point to unlock. Point A captured by the Tritons, and now they're an all free-for-all, if you will, a battle royale of sorts to try and get to that next point quicker than the other team. Lucio creating a lot of space for the Gorillas. Ramatra, however, doing a lot of damage. The Mauga versus Ramatra battle, a couple of the newer tanks on the block. Contested point here. An all-out battle. Visor is popped. Reaper Death Blossom goes off, gets two. Moira cleans up the Mauga. And the Tritons holding another flashpoint very early in this match. Here on Servasa, it's so crucial to win early. Playing from behind is so hard on these control point type maps. And it's proving true here as the Gorillas trying to fight back.
Yeah, especially on these flashpoint maps. I mean, it's just, if you're the person that caps first, most of the time, if you can hold down that first attack after that cap, you're just gonna get that point. So you kind of really have to win off ults and just kind of communicate with how you need to use these ults to win the points.
We get a Moira ult popped by the Tritons. All for naught, as it's just going to contest the point a little bit further. A 1-for-1 trade between the two teams. And now Mauga pops an ult to try and take the space. Ramatra gets out of his, and it's going to get taken down by the Mauga. So potential chance for the Gorillas to retake a capture point here. It looks like they will. They're going to cap as Tritons hold off with 93% after taking that first capture point or flash point in this matchup. Looks like the Pharah switch has proved pretty good so far for the Gorillas. Pharah being almost an immediate counter to this Triton team, as he's just, main goal is to take out the Reaper. Stop the Reaper from doing all that damage, and the barrage gonna be popped from behind, gets 2. Ara will be taken down, and here come the Tritons. No telling who's gonna end up winning this battle. You got a Mercy and a Mei holding things down. Sojourn and Reaper trying to take him out. Sojourn will get both of those two, and University of Guam will take back the Flashpoint. That's going to be all for that Flashpoint, as they will capture the second one and wait for that next one to unlock. Going to be a free-for-all battle before then. Beast goes down to 2 health and will finally get taken out by that Discord Orb. Maga is such an interesting tank. He kind of resembles Reinhardt if Reinhardt had 2 machine guns. Always something that interested me with his character design.
Yeah, just a big man with guns. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got the roll cage too. He's like a, you know, a UFC fighter, but with guns.
Yeah, nothing more exciting than that, to tell you the truth. He's gonna retreat here with that charge ability. Try to get to the capture point. Ramatra taking on a Pharah. Interesting battle matchup there. A Pharmacy, I might mention. Beast gonna take down Sojourn. That's the main hit scan opponent, so now Pharah should have free range over this Triton team. See how well they prove to be as Reaper gets out with just barely any health. Maga gonna be ran down. Mercy can't do enough healing on him. Reaper takes him out. And now the Blizzard is popped. Mercy ult's popped. And all that's left is a Kiriko ult and a Pharah ult, which just gets popped right then. Sojourn gonna take out Beast during the ult. And Triton's gonna take it back again. Stop the attack from the Gorillas. And they hold with just over 60%. Gorillas have a Kiriko ult available and now a Maga ult. Pushing against the Ramatra. Ramatra blocking, backing up. They're going to take him down. So without a tank, without a Sojourn, and without a Lucio, Gorillas need to get that flashpoint quickly before it gets capped. Moira going to exit out, and they're going to take it back. 97% for the Tritons. Gorillas need to hold on if they have any chance of taking the third map.
Yeah, I think I said this earlier. They really need to just kind of ration their ults in a sense. They need to just pop one ult and kind of conserve it in a sense to where they get picks off that one ult, they have another ult for the next fight, and another ult for the next fight. If they want to, you know, 99 to 99 it, you know what I mean? So.
That's right. Got to get into overtime, but it looks like we might not get there as the Ramatra ult gonna take out nearly a team wipe. Probably would have been if that Mercy hadn't died early. And that's gonna be the end of map number 3. University of Guam strikes back against the Gorillas. Tritons finally back on track as they'll take map number 3. Player of the game is gonna be Doorlock as Sojourn. We'll have to see the play and how it unfolds. Yeah, taking out the Pharah there is crucial. That barrage took out 2, but then the strike back from Sojourn, and they're able to just clean everything up. Well, Easton, map number 3 proved to be a good one. After the highs of winning King Row, you get the lows of losing Servasa.
I mean, it is a new map. Malga kind of gets shut down in a lot of scenarios there because of how open it is. Just a lot of broad fire going across. And you know, that Reaper pick was really good. I mean, they were thinking, you know, they were thinking, how do we get around this comp that Pitt State's putting out? And you know, they started counter picking. So
that's how you do it. Counter picks, counter picks, counter picks. We'll have to see what's in store for us next after this quick break.
Gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Yo, I think about others way before myself, yeah. I guess that's why I feel like I go through hell, damn. Wasting time on your dreams instead of mine, yeah. About to turn this franchise.
Welcome back, everybody. Pitt State Esports falling in the last map at Cervasa. Well, it might just play out like a normal match where we have a best of 3, but the obvious goal is to play all 5 maps, and we're going to have an interesting one here, a push map, as we go to Toronto, Canada, home of Drake. But what'd you see in that last matchup, Easton, that could benefit the Gorillas here?
Home of Drake, indeed. I think the Gorillas just need to work with the kind of long range on this map and kind of figure out where they need to go. Because like we said, we talked about, they play kind of short range characters. So they kind of need to just know how to close the space on this map.
That's right. Those short range characters, very helpful on those capture points like we saw at Lijiang Tower, and very helpful in the corridors like we saw at King's Row. But here on this push map, so much wide open space that I'm actually really surprised that they don't have Chip Dip in playing Widowmaker. Looks like Gorillas are going to get the initial push. See how long that lasts. I gotta tell you, Easton, I've never been a huge fan of these push maps. I think ever since they were introduced into the game, they kind of make the matchup slow down a little bit, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, why not just keep it on a hybrid match, you know? Instead of having this push, they could have just made all of these maps a hybrid. But instead, let's take out 2 CP maps, all the control point maps, you know, instead add this.
Yeah, I have a personal email already sent to Blizzard in regards to this. Looks like Gorilla's gonna have to back off real quick, and the push gonna start in the favor of the Tritons. However, Maga gonna make a quick push back to the point, holding that little staircase. That staircase leads to many flanks, in my experience, in this Overwatch map. Tracer running around on the Pharah, tries to get the quick melee, and will end up cleaning up Pharah Beast with a huge kill on the height advantage. And now it's just up to Maga versus Ramatra. The winner of that battle could pretty much decide the rest of this, but with both DPS being out for the Tritons, gonna be tough for them to get into this. We have a pause in play. Looks like someone's gonna take a timeout, talk things over. Quick little strategy issue here. In case you guys were wondering, earlier in the matchup, we did play Lijiang Tower. That I always call it the side capture point because that's the only one where the capture point's like off to the side, the little rectangle point. We ended up playing that one twice because there were server issues with GUAM and Pittsburgh State University. They had to switch the server so that there wasn't so much ping on either side. But now we have a stoppage of play here, and I'm actually curious to end up finding out what it is. But for right now, we get a break from a good push map. But so far in that battle, I mean, it looked like the Gorillas were taking advantage. I mean, what'd you see, Easton, that was different from what they showed at the last capture point map?
So I saw the team kind of branch away from the Mauga instead of kind of hovering behind him like Pitt State was doing on those last couple of maps they won on. They're kind of taking different angles and kind of creating just chokes for GUAM to having to watch different angles. So I think mixing it up like that is really beneficial for Pitt State, and I think they should continue to do so.
And it sounds like they just had some server issues. So quick pause in the play, a quick timeout, make sure everyone's in there, make sure the matchup is fair. As you can see, Gorillas took a 0-2. It was really a 1-2 win at Lijiang Tower. They ended up winning the map that they had lost in the first place. And then over at Kings Row, finally getting a win at Kings Row, and they would go 2-3 there, managing to capture that final point. And then obviously Servasa, the Tritons, took that one 3-0. Looks like we're going to go back straight into the matchup where we were, it looks like, which is a good thing. And it's going to be a Maga versus Ramacha battle, and cleaned up immediately. All that's left is that Mercy trying to tag along, but Maga going to clean it up. And it's going to be some free pushing territory for that big robot. Ramacha trying to re-enter the battle. Bara trying to clean up some space for the Tritons. Interesting to see that they have had any success whatsoever against the Pharah. They do have a Bastion, obviously, but Bastion has become kind of one of those silent characters that you hardly ever see in pro Overwatch nowadays. Just kind of, I don't know, he was really strong when Overwatch 2 first came out with this new turret ability, and you can see there him using it to clean up the Mercy, which is going to be huge in this next battle. But then he's going to be immediately taken out by the Barrage on the flank. So a Barrage and a Sojourn ult popped, and the Tritons looking to take back the advantage on the big robot. He's going to be running back to that other barricade to push. But like I was saying, Bastion, don't hardly see him too much anymore in any competitive matchups.
Yeah, you know, I played my fair share of Bastion, and he really, I think people don't play him because his ult is kind of just useless, you know. I think his kit is pretty well rounded. Maybe a little lack of damage on his rifle mode or his rifle form, but other than that, you know, it's just his ult is so kind of problematic, and it doesn't really benefit team besides maybe pushing people off a point. It just doesn't do enough.
I will give it to Blizzard. They did do a good job of balancing him coming into Overwatch 2. He was getting very overpowered with that stable turret position. If you didn't have, I will say this, if you didn't have competent DPS in order to take out the Bastion, it was always a terrible play, especially when you're playing as healer, because Bastion could just set up as a turret and you would go around a corner and your whole team would be wiped out immediately.
When I was playing Overwatch 1, I always tended to play Junkrat against him because I would just spam his grenades around the corner.
Junkrat always a very good counter to Bastion, or at least used to be. But here we got them trying to go around that final corner. Always tough to get around that spot as Ramacha pops the ult. Gonna be taken down by the Lucio. Barrage on the backside takes out Kiriko and Bastion. And now Tritons, who were down a tank, have a small advantage. Tracer gonna have to back out of that battle, regain some health. Maga gonna retreat as well. Gets out just in time, but then Sojourn cleans it up on the jump around the corner. And now they have the advantage, pushing that barricade just ever so further, at least trying to. Bastion gonna try and take on a 5-on-1. Not a very smart scenario, needs to back out and regroup with his team. Ramacha will clean up the Bastion. Now the Gorilla is going to be facing a 5v4. Kiriko doing her best to heal as they try and hold that staircase. Sojourn pops around doing a lot of damage on Maga. Maga pops an ult. Tritons still have a Mercy ult, which is going to be used right here. Mercy trying to keep her team alive, especially as Ramacha cleans up the Lucio. And now it's just cleanup time for the Tracer. Takes down both healers. Bastion with an ult now, gonna re-enter the matchup. Taken out immediately by the Pharah. Not before he could clean up the Sojourn, however. Sojourn does get rezzed by Mercy. And Pitt State holding an interesting point here. Kind of in that in-between spot right before the cap. But it looks like University of Guam is going to be able to push to that cap spot. Maga, however, doing work trying to stop that from happening. Charges in. Ramacha trying to take out the Bastion, blocking against his turret. Robot momentarily goes back in favor of the Gorillas, especially as they're taking so much space with Maga. Now holding that corner as Farah re-enters the game for GUAM. Mercy on a hot streak. And now Maga taking a lot of damage, needs to back out, and he will with his charge. Takes around the corner and gets in front of the Bastion, trying to open up space for him to do a little bit of damage. Trying to take out that shield for him, but the barrage around the back, once again, gonna get the Kiriko and Bastion. So now Farah trying to clean up Maga, and will Zeisval gonna eliminate 3 in that battle and help GUAM to getting the robot back to moving their direction. Farah gonna take out Kiriko as well. Zeisval, I would be surprised if he doesn't get player of the game. Now Axo joining in the fun, taking out Lucio and Tracer. Now that robot's gonna be able to finally capture that point if Maga has anything to say about it. Farah holding some space, allowing that capture to happen. Maga now doing a lot of damage on Ramatra, but Ramatra blocking. Charges in, out of that heal bubble from Lucio. Needs to back up and get with his healers, especially as he was on very low health. Gets back in time and pops an ult. It looks like they're gonna stay strong and hold that point. Get the robot moving in their favor. They have more distance on their cap so far, but with plenty of time left, need to make a good push. Beast now back on the soldier, like that's exactly where I like to see him, especially with the Farah in play. Farah working the window, trying to just do bits of damage. Gets booped out of the window, now reliant on that pharmacy to stay alive. Maga runs around the corner right into Ramatra. Ramatra gonna pop his little defense there, using his ult, trying to stay alive. Kiriko versus Farah. Obviously, Farah gonna clean that battle up. Lucio able to get the kill on Ramatra, but it looks like the Triton's gonna have the advantage. They will as Axo respawns, trying to rejoin the battle. Zeisval gonna clean up Maga, and all that's left to stand between them and a pushing point is a Lucio. It looks like Sojourn gonna get the melee on Lucio, and it's a back and forth battle here with about 30 seconds to go. This map could go either way. However, the Gorillas currently have the lead in distance push. Sojourn standing back, doing plenty of damage. Bastion gonna push ahead. Needs to make sure he stays in that, behind that front line. He's taking a lot of damage from Sojourn especially. Barrage on the backside gets Maga. Bastion gonna go down to a Sojourn shot, and then another goes down to that Farah ult. Beat is gonna get dropped here. Tritons feel like they need a little bit more healing, so they use both the Mercy and the Lucio ult. And all that's left for them is a Sojourn ult. That could be an interesting play as we get farther into this push. Now reached overtime time limits. They're gonna have to stay in control of this robot the rest of the time. That useless Bastion ult gets popped. It's not gonna get anyone, shocker. They brought out a Sigma for this final battle as well. Sigma taking in a lot of damage from Bastion, and a good play by Axo to move to the Sigma. They clean up all 5, and now Beast is the last remaining Gorilla to stop them from capturing that final point. Lucio gonna join the battle. And now, with a 4v2, Lucio running around, Beast on low health, gets behind to stop the cap. It's contested in overtime. They have to push it just a little bit further in order to get the win. Here in map 4, trying to tie it up, trying to go 2-2. It's a free-for-all battle between tanks. Maga goes down, and Tritons cap the second map. And they're gonna tie it up 2-2. So we're gonna see a real match here. Not just playing all 5 maps for the heck of it. We're gonna see a battle to the best of 3, and Zeisval is gonna get the play of the game, just like I said he should. He goes behind, cleans up the Bastion and Kiriko. Well, Easton, what was different in this map? as these last 2 maps for that matter for the University of Guam.
I saw, from Pitt State side, I saw a lack of just kind of a hard reset in general. I think there was a lot of stragglers that would just push forward and kind of just get caught off guard. And Guam took advantage of that, and they did a lot of changes up. And Farah being so open on this map, being so open, was able to flank a lot and get those ults off and get those good kills.
That's right. So we're all tied at 2-2. We'll see who ends up taking the lead on this exhibition when we come back.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. About others way before myself, yeah. I guess that's why I feel like I go through hell, damn. Wasting time on your dreams instead of mine, yeah. About to turn this franchise around on a dime, man. It's all about finding your right state of mind. It's all about turning the worst into fine. It's all about time and the work and the climb. From the thirst we will rise, I'm immersed in this life. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody...
Hello, everybody. We're in map number 5 in today's exhibition. University of Guam, the Tritons, taking on your Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Pitt State Esports, we're off to a hot start. Took the first 2 maps, they won Lijiang Tower, then would go right back and win Kings Row. But now, University of Guam, with a bad taste in their mouth, striking back. Tritons take 2 maps in a row, the last one being Toronto, winning that push map in an exhilarating battle to the very end. And now we're left here with Watchpoint Gibraltar, the home of Winston. Fittingly so, it looks like both tanks going to start on Winston, the home of the ape, if you will. Planet of the Apes. The monkey map. And that's how we're going to finish off today's exhibition. Looks like Dorlock going to start off on that Widowmaker. Dizval going to be playing Tracer, trying to flank around. Looks like we're going to get a Kiriko as well for Pitt State. It's going to be Winston, a Sombra pick for Whiskery. Then we're going to have a Sojourn who is getting pushed hard by the Winston there. And then as our healers, we're going to have a Lucio and Kiriko. Quick pick there for Widowmaker. Going to get the headshot on Lucio. Like Beast is moving at 2 frames a second. Pops up in the air. Widowmaker does some damage, gets to clean up. Sombra, however, going to come out of nowhere and pick the Widowmaker off. Tracer roaming around down low, trying to find out where the Sombra is. Doesn't realize she's up top on that little hallway. Sombra uses her little flower of levitation. And it looks like they're going to push to the lower part of this map. They're going to allow the Pitt State Gorillas to have some height advantage. It's only fitting that Cool plays the gorilla as a gorilla here on this map. It all just is coming together, if you know what I mean, Easton.
Yeah, I mean, monkey.
Monkey. What else can you say?
Monkey. Or gorilla.
Winston. Or gorilla, yeah. Or gorilla. Looks like Axo gonna have his anger management, or a Winston ult for some of you laymans, as he's trying to take out that Lucio in the back line. Does end up cleaning up Tracer, and looks like he's gonna pop that ult. Sombra gonna go up to try and clean up this Soldier. That's an interesting battle that's gonna happen up there. Sojourn fighting off that angry monkey. Winston versus Wimp battle as he gets moved up on a flower. Now Sojourn trying to take down that Tracer who's re-entered the battle. Looks like Sojourn gonna be taken out by Doorlock here. Soldier gonna clean up the Kiriko and Sojourn. And now we're left with Cool trying to pop an ult to stall some time. Gorillas also have a Sombra ult and a Kiriko ult in their arsenal. University of Guam's gonna have a Soldier ult, a Pulse Bomb, and a Kiriko ult to face with, as well as it looks like, oh, they're only halfway on their ults. It looked like a 96 from my, oh, it was a 96 from my perspective. Eradication gonna have their ult coming into the end. Axo takes down Sojourn. Sombra gonna get taken down by the Soldier. However, Doorlock going on a run and is gonna capture this second point very easily. Tritons appear like they were just messing around in those first two battles and now have come to play. Reaper comes out from Beast trying to take care of that Winston. Winston flies over, trying to hold some part of that map. Sombra on very low health has to retreat from the battle, goes underneath to get that health pack. Soldier takes out Winston with the Helix rockets. And now Reaper doing some work on Winston, has to use his phase to get out. That hacked health pack gonna be so crucial for them as they try and hold this point. However, the Visor from Doorlock gonna clean up the Reaper. And now the Tritons pushing with plenty of time as they try to take this final point. Winston takes a leap of faith, tries to take out the Kiriko. Kiriko gonna pop her ult in response. We're also gonna get a Winston ult from the Tritons. And now, Axo with that Winston ult pop, trying to take care of a Sombra. Moves ahead to fight against the Reaper, and Sombra, he's gonna get the Sombra. Reaper able to evade for not long as Doorlock cleans him up from up above. Cool, pops the ult, taken down by Soldier during it. Lucio now trying to hold them off just a little bit. Gorillas are reeling here as there is 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the timer for Guam. That Death Blossom comes in and is able to take out Doorlock, maybe get some penance for just a second. Cool takes down the healers, but Zeisval will take down Beast in the process. Cool takes down Axo as well. Sombra cleans up the Tracer, and now we're finally gonna get a stop in play as the Tritons now, for the first time, get defeated in a battle.
EMP is almost ready.
I think they should have swapped off Winston a lot sooner, as you can't really counter dive Winston, especially when those healers, the only one you could really that's diveable on their team was the Life Weaver, and he still has some kind of getaway as well. So I mean, switching here to Ramatra is a really good pick for Pitt State.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to tank some more damage, control some more space as well, as we have so many flank characters for the Gorillas right now. Both the Reaper and Sombra, at least from what I've seen, are currently... Sombra naturally is a flank character, but this Reaper seems to be more in favor of going behind, doing damage, than using that ability to get out of trouble. Looks like the Triton's going to go to a Zarya pick here to try and counter against the Ramatra switch. Also going to try and counter against the Sombra hack, I imagine. Doing bits of damage on Ramatra. He's going to get to the health pack before they can get him down. Sombra will take out Tracer behind, and it looks like Soldier going to clean up the Reaper. So both teams without a DPS. We get a Visor pop here from Doorlock. He gets hacked out of it, though. A clutch hack there from Sombra.
It actually doesn't hack out of it anymore. I think he just ran out of time there. They changed that, I think, a couple patches back to where it doesn't actually hack you out of Visor anymore when you EMP.
Oh, really? I did not catch that patch. Which is good info, though. not going to catch me saying the wrong thing the rest of the broadcast. Triton's going to clean it up, though. Lifeweaver gets the final kill on Lucio, and now they have the advantage. It's going to be a straggling battle here for the Gorillas. They're just going to come in one-on-one. Ramatra going to try and take some space, goes into that mega form, but it's too much for him. Zarya cleans him up. Moira now holding some space, taking out the Tracer. Her and Lucio going to be able to do some damage. Sombra goes in behind. And now it looks like the Gorilla is going to be able to hold some ground. Lucio with a clutch kill on Kiriko, and now they're definitely going to be able to hold ground. Pulse Bomb does take out the Lucio, but his respawn just a few seconds. And now, either team with an ult in their arsenal. However, Soldier and Moira close on opposite teams respectively. Zarya at full damage capacity, taking on that Ramatra, and it cleans up the Reaper in just a few seconds. So powerful when Zarya gets that full ability. Zarya's ult is available. Soldier gonna pop from up high, goes down from the high ground, especially as Eradication takes out so many with Lifeweaver. That ship moving ever so closely to the final point. Contested for the last little bit here. Gorilla is going to just send in stragglers to try and stop it, but it looks like it's going to be all for naught. As long as they clean up this Ramatra here, it should be easy going for the Tritons. And that it will be. Sombra goes up to launch an EMP, but in doing so, going to leave the capture point wide open for the Tritons.
I mean, it was a good round for both teams, GUAM getting that cap in. You know, Pitt State holding that for, what was it, 5 minutes? Roughly 5 minutes there, because they capped those first 2 points very quickly. And they managed to bring it to overtime and put them in a, panic situation. So it was good job from both teams. GUAM with the amazing Zarya grab there. And Pitt State kind of holding off as long as they could.
Definitely going to be crucial. A point you mentioned that they took it all the way to overtime. Should we go to a sudden death scenario, obviously the Gorillas are going to have to push it all the way there first. But should we get there, GUAM not going to have any time on the clock to make that final push. Looks like GUAM on the defense here is going to run a Sigma comp with the Widow and Tracer to back him up. So not a lot of health combined, not a lot of damage potential, if you will.
So let's give it to them.
And then Kiriko and Lifeweaver are going to bring up the healers, round out that starting five. For the Gorillas, only natural. Here on Monkey Map, you got to run Winston. With Winston, they're going to run a Sombra and Pharah combo. Looks like they're going to try and pull off the Pharmacy one more time. And then Kiriko going to round out that five.
It's going to be funny to see if the Sombra constantly hacks the Sigma out of his abilities. Because Sombra right now kind of just shuts down Sigma in so many ways, and especially with the monkey, there's just gonna be so much damage going on to him if he gets hacked.
Very natural here for the attacking team to take that top bridge. Sigma catches that Sombra running behind. Now Sigma doing a lot of damage, especially as that Winston's forced to retreat for the Gorillas. Sigma now going toe-to-toe with the monkey. Beast gonna take out Widowmaker. That's gonna be huge, as that is the hit scam potential for GUAM taken out of the picture. Now Pharah should be able to run the high ground, should be able to take out everyone from behind, at least before the Widowmaker gets back into the battle. Sigma jumps down on top of the Sombra, not gonna connect with his orbs. Now leaves the Sombra to run free. Kiriko trying to take out Tracer up top. Tracer takes a headshot, recalls out of it, gets back to full health. Tracer now doing a lot of damage to Cool, but Cool gonna get the Widowmaker first. That should open up the doors for Pharah to come back in. But it looks like they're gonna retreat and regroup before that can happen. Triton's gonna take back that high ground and try and control face here. Pharah launching rockets from far off. Sombra gonna go in biz and try and make a neat little play. Whiskery on that Sombra been so dangerous, hacks the Sigma out of his abilities, like you had mentioned, and that opens the door for Farah to take out Widowmaker. The only thing stopping that Farah from taking out the Widowmaker is the skill of the Widowmaker and the shield of the Sigma. Farah tries to pop a barrage, but a nicely timed, I don't know what else to call it besides the suck from Sigma. Nicely timed one of those, and that gets them into a lost ult for Farah. They're gonna have to pop the Mercy ult here just to save face and try and capture this first point. 1.14 meters to go. We got a Sombra taking on the world. Cool now, trying to even it up against Pulse Bomb from the Tracer. Sombra takes out Kiriko. Now Sombra on top trying to work on. Gets down on the Tracer. And now Sigma cleaning up those DPS. And that is gonna be a nice hold there for the Tritons. Able to fight them off and drain that clock just a little bit more for the Gorillas.
Yeah, you know, Stigma with his rockin' balls is just kind of just popping off there.
Pause. Someone stop the count. Now Winston making a move down that bottom corridor. Interesting decision to not take the high ground. Kiriko gets separated from her team and eliminated very quickly. However, Sombra gonna pick off that soldier behind. Tracer doing heavy damage backed by that Kiriko ult. Not gonna be enough before Axo gets eliminated. They will pick off the Mercy. And then Tracer knocks down the Life Weaver as well. Beast with the switch to Tracer, proving good as they're gonna take down a couple enemies. Sombra gets eliminated by Doorlock, and now Doorlock with free reign up top. Good contest there from Winston, forces Doorlock off the high ground, and Soldier eliminated from this first battle. Pulse Bomb lands on Weaver. Winston gonna jump ahead and try and clean up Sigma. Sigma gonna get eliminated by Beast before Winston can get there, and a good death there by Kiriko. That she can regroup with her team. Tracer getting us a nod of approval. They're gonna have a 1v1 battle. Lucio gonna join in, that's no fair. Beast gonna eliminate Zeisval. Takes him out in one clip. They're gonna move back towards the payload. Mr. Beast, give him something. Looks like he got a little too extended from the action and will be taken out by Soldier behind.
Nice
Sigma running for a Sigma ult and gets hacked by Sombra. Now the visor is popped though, and that's gonna take out 2, 3. Could it be 4? Not gonna be 4, but takes out 3 of the Gorillas. And they're gonna have to regroup here. Winston and Tracer falling back onto their team. Winston at 18 health gets cleaned up by Zeisval, and now it's gonna take even more time off the clock for them to regroup. Beast versus Zeisval, a matchup of the ages. Soldier gonna join the battle with the Sombra as well. Kiriko takes out the Soldier. And now it's a Beast versus Zeisval Tracer battle. Zeisval gonna run like a coward. Winston now launching himself into the battle, trying to take out those healers behind. Kiriko gets eliminated by Tracer. Tracer cleans up Axo. And now Beast going on a run, trying to get the Gorillas pushed all the way forward to that second point. Now, like you mentioned, the Tritons had over 5 minutes to capture that last point. Gorillas, with the capture here, not gonna have near that time, just over 2 minutes. Now that clock is ticking as well. Looks like we're gonna get a McCree switch here. Excuse me, Cassidy. A Cassidy switch here from Doorlock. Never liked that switch, but hey, it is what it is. They're gonna push back on Axo, and it's gonna get a Kiriko ult here. Kiriko trying to save her Winston from dying, pops the ult. And they need to push forward on that ult. They need to make good use of it. Sombra has EMP available. Tritons have a Kiriko ult and a beat drop for Lucio. Looks like that EMP is going to be used, but it's not going to do much for him, as no eliminations will be had off of it. And now Sigma going to pick up his ult as well. Pulse Bomb going to land on Lucio, but immediately after, Tracer going to be taken out by that McCree. McCree uses a high noon pull to reload and take out Cool. Interesting strategy there. I always like holding on to my high noons, but they're not too useful anymore. So often we see the high noon get pulled and then immediately a death after. Kiriko doing work now for the Tritons. They're going to need to regroup. A switch here from Beast. He's going to play Sojourn. They tick under 30 seconds to go. No, it looks like 30 seconds at least on my screen. Sigma Rock gonna land. They're gonna take out Cool. Monkey goes down. Kiriko goes down. And now they're just trying to hold on to what they got. 8 seconds remaining. And Doorlock gonna clean them all up. Sigma's got his ult ready to go in case anyone comes out in time, but there isn't gonna be an answer. Gorillas fall in the final map. Triton's able to take it. And now they will win the exhibition 3-2. Gorillas had them reeling, but Axo getting the play of the game here proves too much and will help GUAM to get the 3-2 victory.
I mean, this play was amazing from GUAM, but you know, Pitt State there really had just a hard time capping that second point, and they struggled on the first point too. We saw they got it to the very end, and you know that Sigma was just holding it off for so long, especially with the healers right behind him. And they just needed to, you know, kind of coordinate and attack one person at a time.
That's exactly right. We talked about that in our keys beforehand. They needed to do better with their communication and their coordination as a team, especially something that Dex and I had saw in that last battle. But unfortunately, in those last 3 maps, it didn't look like they were all there. Maybe they got a little laid back, a little too relaxed, a little too comfortable, if you will. And it proved in those last 3 maps. Yeah,
I mean, we saw Beast was doing a really good job. He was putting in a lot of damage on Pitt State's side, and our tank was putting a lot of pressure on the front line. We talked about it. It's just, like I said, it's a lack of focusing the characters, and GUAM really was focusing those healers, focusing one person at a time, and just taking them out one by one. It was just a great job from GUAM with that 2-3 comeback as well. So
that's right, taking 3 straight to take the victory. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this edition of Pitt State Esports. Unfortunately, the Gorillas will fall in this exhibition, but it was just for practice anyway, so who really cares? We'll have to see them next time. For right now, Easton and I are going to be signing off. Once again, thank you so much for watching Pitt State Esports.